thought I would do a little bit of a video journal for an adventure I'm about to go embark on. And it requires a little bit of a backstory. So, a year and a half ago, maybe more, I started experiencing discomfort in my left thumb, and it felt like it needed to pop. But if I popped it, or I tried to pop it, that only hurt worse. And so that continued on for, like, I thought I sprained it making my wire feathers. Because I had made a whole bunch of feathers in a weekend trying to complete the phoenix sculpture that I have in my front yard. And I thought I sprained my thumb. And so I just kind of dealt with it for a while. But it just wasn't going away, and it would ache really badly. So anyway, I went to a hand specialist, and they did a million x-rays, and they didn't see anything. And so they just kind of said, it's probably the start of arthritis. Wear a brace. So I got a brace, and that didn't really work. It didn't really help. So, fast forward, continual, irritant, but not a huge deal. But then in February of this year, I got in my car, reached up to put, to do my seatbelt, and a shooting pain in my shoulder went down my arm into my elbow and into my thumb. And I screamed. Screamed because it hurt like a bitch. And I was going out of town, and so I got to where I was going, and my elbow still felt sensitive from it. Like, whatever it was, it just really shocked me. So then I continued noticing things that in the shoulder, in the arm, and I got onto AI and was like, what does this sound like? And AI seemed to think it was a C5, C6 issue in my neck. Like, I think it's on this side. And because further backstory, there was again, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I was getting something out of a closet, standing on a step ladder, like a two-step ladder, reaching up to get something out of the closet, and I fell. And as I was falling back, I was convinced I was going to die. I was convinced I was going to impale myself. Hello, sir. And I landed pretty much on my butt, just straight back with possibly, I don't remember, maybe with my arm back, my left arm. But I was fine. That's why I don't remember, because I was fine. I was shocked that I was fine. I was just like, wow, how did I survive that? How am I getting up and fine that just doesn't make sense. Still, when I think back on it, that is the craziest thing. So, all right, now I've lost where I'm going with that one. Anyway, so I put that into AI, and so AI said, it might be C5, C6, because the nerves there would include the left thumb. That's definitely a C5 thing, or C6. Cervical 6. So it just kept getting, more irritating. And so I was like, well, what kind of doctor do I need to go to for that? And so AI said either a neurologist or a nerve specialist or a back specialist. Well, my boss has been going to a back specialist, and another one of the gentlemen in my office goes to the same back specialist. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just call and make an appointment with that guy. So they did not have anything available. I called mid-March, and they didn't have anything available until April 6th, which is tomorrow. So then I started thinking about it because, you know, I'm an astrologer type person. and I'm in my perfection year. I'm in a third house perfection year, which is siblings and neighborhoods, but it's Pisces, because I'm a Capricorn rising, so I have Pisces in my third house. So it's, you know, unclear, and I could go into stories about everything that's been going on this year with vagueness related to neighbors and vagueness related to siblings and things, but Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a benefic. So what the heck with my shoulder? Well, because I'm a Capricorn rising, I have Gemini in the 6th house, which in the 6th house is the house of ill health. So hello, shoulders. Mercury is ruled. And if you're in a third house perfection year, that pulls in the health axis, because the squares, the 3rd to the 9th and the 6th to the 12th. So for me, it's mutable because I'm a Capricorn rising, I'm a Cardinal rising, so mutable is at the 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th. So the mutable cross has been pulled into action. Now, I don't have any planets in any of those houses, but they're both, the 3rd and the 9th is Jupiter, Mercury, and then the 6th and the 12th is Mercury, Jupiter. So Mercury's been pulled into this because of the mutable axis. And so, yeah, Mercury rules nerves, and Jupiter is expanding things. And so then what are the planets doing right now? Well, so this whole time, Mercury has been going retrograde in Pisces, in my 3rd house, my perfected house, perfection year house. So, and then Mars is in there too. So, and Mars is the malefic out of sect because I'm a day chart. So these are two things going through my perfected house that are kind of like, yeah, no, this is not good stuff. This is not good stuff. At the same time, Jupiter is in Cancer, my 7th house, stationed direct. It had been you know, it had gone almost through the end of Cancer, then it turned retrograde, backed up, and stationed direct at 15 Cancer. My natal Mars is 16 Capricorn. So my Time Lord of the year was opposing my malefic out of sect at the same time that the transiting malefic out of sect and Mercury, in its debilitated state of being both in fall and detriment, was retrograde in my 3rd house. So so I'm talking through all of this with ChatGPT, and or not Chat, excuse me, I broke up with ChatGPT, with Claude. ChatGPT just got too patronizing. I was like, stop it. And so, you know, I don't know, the AIs with astrology are always kind of weird. You got to be careful. But, oh, well, you need to look and see, you know, when Jupiter was first opposed your Mars, and then when it stationed retrograde, and then when it's hit the Mars again, and then when it stationed direct, and when it, and so I was like, well, you know, it didn't matter when it was opposing it the first time, because that was back in August of 2025, and Jupiter wasn't my Time Lord yet. I mean, that's still a significant transit, but Jupiter didn't have the emphasis of being a Time Lord at that until my birthday in December. So the significance of it stationing direct, it's been like opposing Mars for a while now, because as it like backed up and then stationed and then it's moving, so it's going to be exact opposing Mars tomorrow, the day of my appointment. So then in the meantime, as many astrologers are talking about, toward the you know, this is the month of all this weirdness that's going on. Like, we're going to have all sorts of really, really harsh planetary alignments. And we have the Mars-Saturn conjunction coming up at 7 Aries, 19th of April. Mercury is going to be in that mix too. Mercury will have caught up with Mars. And so then Mars will go past Saturn. They're all at 7 degrees, but Mars and Saturn are a little bit further. Mercury's at, I can't remember, 7 degrees and 5 minutes. And Saturn and Mars are at 7 degrees 51 minutes. So then Mars passes Saturn, and then Mercury, like the next day, or actually 12 hours later, passes Saturn. So then Mercury is sitting in between Saturn and Mars, which is called, besiegement. It's called besiegement. So yeah, so Mercury's going to be besieged on the 20th, April 20th. So if Mercury's your Time Lord, but it's just, just for moments, and then it will pass Mars. But all of this is happening, like when it catches up with Mars, it'll be 8 degrees of Aries. And then it will pass Mars, and I have Jupiter natally at 10 Aries. So all of this, and Jupiter again is my Time Lord. So anyway, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow to diagnose if I have C5, C6 issue, what's happening with my shoulder. And I want to have my plan in progress by the 19th, 20th, at least having tests done by then. Because then as it goes past, as it all hits, all those things hit Jupiter, my natal Jupiter, I can't see that those are going to be good. Like when Mars gets to 10 Aries, like maybe when I'm having surgery, I don't know. If I have to have surgery, I don't know. But anyway, astrology really works, guys. Like, I mean, I've been really focusing on mundane astrology and world stuff, and like when's, what's going to happen now, and how bad is it going to get, and all of these things. And I hadn't been paying attention to my own chart, and I'm going through all of this stuff, and it took like pain, which is Mars, and it's like a burning pain too. When it hits, it's just like I've been calling it like a brain freeze. If I try to put my bra on, if I try to hook my bra or unhook my bra, or other moves where there's this back and down motion with my arm, the pain, I call it a brain freeze, because you know how when you like drink a sip of margarita, frozen margarita, and then you feel, oh no, and you're not drinking at that moment. It's like a delayed reaction where all of a sudden it's like you're gonna die, like just the brain freeze, and you're just like, oh my God, and it intensifies, and then it finally subsides, and you're like, okay, but it takes like 20-30 seconds, right? That's what's the pain in my arm. I call it a brain freeze, because it intensifies, and I'm like doubling over, just going, shit, let me die. And then it starts to ease up, and then it's like, right now I'm fine, But while it's hurting, oh my God, it hurts. So I can't believe I've been talking for 13 minutes about this. Thanks for listening.